Good afternoon, sir. My name is Warren Payusan, Section Q, BS Criminology student. So, as part of our requirement in this subject, we are going to choose the topic that we discussed in our previous meetings. So, the topic that I am interested of is computer hardware. So, I am interested of this because I am asking what is the importance of this topic in our subject. Then I am wondering how important this computer hardware in the field of studying studying computer typing. So to proceed, we are going to define what is computer hardware. In our previous discussion, we we defined computer hardware as any tangible things that we can touch. So simply means that these tools in a computer is that any material that we can see and touch it. So we're going to proceed for my report. So what is computer hardware? So quite simple. Computer hardware is the physical components that a computer system requires to function. Encompasses everything with a circuit board that operates within a PC or laptop, including the motherboard, graphics card, CPU, or central processing unit, ventilation, fans, webcam, power supply, and so on. So it simply means that as far as what I am saying a while ago, that it is a physical thing or tangible materials that we can touch. So although the design of a hardware differs between desktops, PCs, and laptops due to their differences in size, the same core components will be found in both. Without hardware, there would be no way of running the essential software that makes computers so useful. Software is defined as the virtual programs that run on your computer. That is operating system, internet browser, word processing documents, and etc. Although document Although a computer can function only when both hardware and software are working together, the speed of a system will highly rely on the hardware used. When building up a new computer, it's simply replacing old parts. You may need to know the specific hardware in your computer. The purpose of this guide is therefore to help you understand the inner working of your computer. So it's quite simple. You need to know what are the function of your hardware, computer hardware, computer hardware mating parts. Continue. So as part of the computer, na let us identify what are the hardware hardware is or computer hardware is kanang iyang mga parts. And let's define it. So, and let's know it. So what is a motherboard? The motherboard is the center of what makes a PC work. It houses the CPU and it and is a hub that all other hardware runs through. The motherboard acts as a brain, allocating power where it's needed, communicating with all, coordinating across all their components, making it one of the most important piece of hardware in the computer. So, when choosing a motherboard, it's important to check what hardware ports the motherboard supply. It's vital to check how many USB ports and what grade what grade. So, USB 2.0, 3.0, 3.1. They are as well as what display ports are used. It's either HDMI, DVI, or RGB. And how many of each there are. The ports on the motherboard will also help you define what other hardware will be compatible with your computer, such as what type of RAM and graphics card you can use. Although the motherboard is just one of a circuit, it is home to another one of the most important piece of hardware and processor. So, so in as we explain it well, or when we elaborate the meaning of this, so we can identify that motherboard is a center, like for example, a human. The motherboard of a human is our brain, which control us or determine what we're going to do, or acting like today I am reporting now because of my brain, or what is what is the function, what tells my brain is. So the motherboard is very important in the computer so that it can function, so that the computer will function well. So this is the motherboard look like. So as you see, there are many parts of, there are very an 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 IT expert will determine what are the parts of the dust. So let's continue. What is a CPU, or central processing or processor unit? So the CPU, central processing unit or processor, is responsible for processing all information from programs run by your computer. The clock speed is the speed at which the processor process information, is measured in gigahertz. This means that a professor advertising a high GHz rating will likely perform faster than a simply similar specified processor of the same brand and age. So this is the central processing unit look like. So it is like a battery cell that, like, you know it is very important in the computer hardware so that it can function as well. So what is RAM? RAM, or random accessories memory, or RAM, is hardware found in the memory slots or the motherboard. The rule of RAM is to temporarily store on the fly information created by programs, and to do so in a way that makes this data immediately accessible. The task that required random memory could be rendering image for graphic design, edited video and photographs, multitasking with multiple apps open. For example, running a game on the screen and chatting via Discord or onto the other. So it is very useful in a computer so that you can communicate with the other guy or other and other person across the globe, or shall we say the purpose of this is that we can connect via online games like now. For now on, there are many people who are using PCs as their daily sustain their daily needs, like they are streaming. So it is very useful, as well as the function of it. So this is the RAM looks like. So what is a hard drive? The hard drive is a storage device responsible for storing permanent and temporary data. This data comes in many different forms, but is essential anything saved or installed to a computer. For example, computer programs, family photos, operating system, word processing, document, and so on. So this hard drive contains the like like you know shall we say the ato pa kanang kuan kanang USB nato, it contains kuan kanang family photos, like sa atong cellphone pa na, it is our memory. The memory card is it is the hard drive. So it contains movies, anything that is we may able to watch in the screen, that will show it, and we will enjoy watching videos. So the importance of hard drive is very useful so that we may able to um, sa Tagalog pa, malilibang tayo. Yeah, that is the importance of hard drive. There are two different types of storage devices: the traditional hard disk drive or HDD, and the newer solid state drive SSD. So hard disk drive work by writing binary data onto spinning magnetic disks called patterns that rotate at high speed, while a solid state drive stores data by using static flash memory chips. So what is graphic processing or GPU or graphic processing unit? Especially important for 3D rendering, the GPU does exactly what its name suggests, and processing huge batches of graphic data. You will find that your computer's graphics card has at least one GPU, as opposed to the basic onboard graphic capabilities that PC motherboards supply. Dedicated graphics cards interface with the motherboard via an expansion slot to work at most exclusive on graphic rendering. This also means you can upgrade your graphics card if you want to get a bit more performance from your PC. So, graphics processing unit is like you are going to upgrade your PC, like you wanted to have your PC more aggressive in while you are playing games, or you want to improve the performance of your PC. Like you don't want it to be lag because of while you are playing your mo in online games, it is always lag. Then the purpose of this graphics processing unit is that it might be more upgraded, like you are um, you are just working in a you are gaming in a real world without any problem, that like you are ning sumbaga sa Bisaya pa, Parang kuan robotic pa. Murag robotic ra kayo ang moves sa imong mga hero nga gidula sa online games. So with this graphics processing unit, it may be anong kuan na, murag ikaw na mismo ang gadula sa computer, like you are controlling with your own moves. So that is how important graphic processing unit. So this this is how it look likes. So what is a power supply unit or PCU? PSU rather. A power supply unit, commonly abbreviated as PSU, does more than just supply your computer with power. It is the point where power enters your system from an internal power source, and it is it's then allocated by the motherboard to individual component hardware. Not all power supplies are uh, made made equally. However, and without the right wattage PC PSU, your system will prefer to work. So without this power supply unit, your computer may be able not to function as well as kanang imitate me fail to work. So it simply means that the importance of this power supply unit is that you are just taking an action with you are just like for example, without your kanang example without kan ng example uyab, or without your loved ones, maybe you are dreaming of the things that you wanted to do, but without the presence of your loved ones, just like your your loved one is your inspiration to do. So without her, you you may fail to do what you wanted to do, just like this. So without right wattage of PSU, your computer failed to work. So a modern computer will generally need a PSU that's related between 500 W to 850 watt wattage to effectively power all hardware. Although the size of the PSU or power supply unit will depend entirely on the power consumption of the system. Computers that are used for highly intensive tasks such as s- graphics design or gaming will require more powerful components and thus will need a bigger PSU to cater to this additional need. So, without the right of power or components, won't be able to run effectively, and the computer might experience crashes or simply fail to boot at all. It's recommended to have a power supply that more than covers your system usage. Not only guard yourself against system failure, you also future proof yourself against needing a new PSU when you upgrade to more powerful PC components. So, but before I will going to end my my report, I will going to I will going to let you to understand your computer. I will going to elaborate that understanding your computer and its hardware components can prove very useful when the times comes to upgrade or replace any parts, or when building a computer. You will have a better understanding of the importance of each components, the need for them to be in a good working condition, and how to go about solving any issues. With all your respect and with all your concerns, that having the knowledge of any part of a computer hardware is very important, because if we are facing problems in times of we are using our computer, then it suddenly na lag, or may able to function unconditionally. So let we may able to know the the function of everything that is part of the computer, because knowing the computer hardware is very important to simplify the basic rule or basic function of it, as well as knowing the power supply in the computer, like um because I believe that computer or PCs are the best tools that, or the best device that is useful for, like, in online classes and work, or in a call center agent, especially those people who need online job to sustain their daily needs and feed their families. So we should um, we should be careful and let us have this knowledge, so that in terms of having a problem in our computer, we may able to know, or we may able to para maayo po nato ba, para dili na ta kinahanglan og mga ITs or mga mechanics para pod moayo sa atong kuan, sa atong computer. It is enough that we know the we know the parts of our computer, and we know what is the function of it, so that in terms of having troubles in there, or having problems, so we have the knowledge to kuan, to para ma-settle din natong problema, then we may able to do our work, or to do our job, to continue our job, and more especially in a call center agent that are they need their PCs um, function well. So in that manner, they are going to understand the function of their computer hardware, so that they have the knowledge to to control the, or to to deter their problem in terms of trouble in computer. I understand those people who are not interested in computer, because even myself, I don't interested in computer. That I feel myself that the computer is very difficult for me to understand in every part, such as what I've mentioned. But it is effectively believed that understanding this and knowing its function and will help me to improve my skills in providing in achieving my goals for becoming a future police someday. Because not all the time that is not all the time that we are always in a training field, but I believe that by the time that we are in a in a in a work field, so we are going to we're going to handle computer. So so by this time, as I have the knowledge of the function of in every part of the computer hardware, so I may not um able um to feel myself struggling in that time, because I have this knowledge right now and I am studying this. So I am very thankful for this subject that that our instructor gave us, that we should understand and learn the parts of in every computer, so that um in terms of in our future career we will use it. Because if I were not been kung hindi naman ako papalarin maging isang alagad ng batas sa pagdating ng panahon, so at least I have the knowledge of this kind of knowing the function of the computer. Because as of now, computer is our source of income. um, these technologies devices has a great role in our society for today. It has a greatest biggest distribution in our community, because across the globe, this device is one of the nagbibigay halaga sa bawat tao upang mabuhay. There are some people who does live with um live with online job. So but think about the um ng do not do not do not do not so abusive of using this, because some of the people some of the people use computer as to create uh, to create crime or to do hack. So it is bad for me. I think it is not enough to do a crime in a computer, because even though we are upgraded right now, but we should be equal to others. Let us facing the real world with equal mobility of us. Let us be equal to other, so that we may live a life of freedom without further kuan kanang mawan ti kahadlokan mga naupuan ta nabuhi ta in this world. So instead of doing that, ni focus the let us focus ourselves in providing our family in their daily needs, so that we can help them. Um before I will end this, I will going to um thank our instructor that he gave our he gave his full support to sustain our knowledge to give us knowledge, and let us not taken for this taken I'm not let not let us not taken for this taken granted. Let us understand the topic, uh, topic uh, topic that sir that discuss us. So may so I think that is all, and thank you, sir. Thank you.